The room was silent, save for the quiet hum of the old ceiling fan. Ibrahim Traoré stood at the threshold of the dilapidated warehouse, the faint smell of rotting wood filling his nostrils. In front of him, a figure from his past, someone he never expected to see again, stepped forward, his smile almost too perfect to be real. "Do you remember me, Ibrahim?" The voice was cold, calculated, but underneath it there was a flicker of recognition that Ibrahim couldn't ignore. Introduction and setup. It had been over 20 years since Ibrahim last saw Samir. Their childhood had been a simple one, long, days spent running through the fields of their small village, laughter echoing in the air as they shared their hopes and dreams. But in the years that followed, life had separated them. Ibrahim, always driven by a sense of justice, had risen to prominence as a leader, fighting for his country, while Samir had vanished. No one spoke of him anymore. The sun set over the dry plains of Burkina Faso as Ibrahim stood, his hand resting against the iron gate of the warehouse. It was a quiet place now, its glory days long past, just like the friendship they once had. The air felt heavy with the weight of time and betrayal. His fingers tightened into fists, memories of those days flooding back, the warmth of Samir's, laughter contrasting sharply with the cold tension between them now. He wasn't sure what had brought him here, whether it was curiosity, fate, or the gnawing suspicion that something was deeply wrong. But he knew as surely as the sky turned crimson at dusk, that this meeting would change everything. Conflict or challenge. Introduced Samir. Ibrahim whispered under his breath, his voice a mix of disbelief and dread. Samir's face twisted into something more familiar now, calculating, sharp, a man Ibrahim could hardly recognize. "You always were the righteous one," Samir said, stepping closer, his eyes glinting. "But the world isn't as simple as you think, Ibrahim. There are things you don't know." The old warehouse creaked in the wind as though the very structure of Ibrahim's past was crumbling before him. What was Samir involved in now? Ibrahim had heard whispers, rumors of shady deals, of people falling prey to elaborate schemes. But he hadn't wanted to believe it. As Samir reached into his coat pocket, Ibrahim's heart skipped. What was he about to reveal? The darkness that had quietly spread between them in those final years of their friendship was about to surface, and Ibrahim wasn't sure if he was ready to face it. "You were always the smart one," Samir continued. "But you never saw the real game. I've been pulling strings, Ibrahim. Everything that's happened in this country, everything you fought for, was just part of the plan. And you, my friend, were never meant to win." Midpoint revelation or twist Ibrahim's. Breath caught in his throat. "What do you mean?" Samir smiled, pulling a small folder from his pocket. He tossed it onto the dusty table between them. It was a collection of documents, photographs, and contracts, all pointing to one horrifying truth. Samir had been behind the very scams that Ibrahim had fought to expose. All the people Ibrahim had trusted, the systems he had fought to dismantle, they were all connected to Samir's web. "You've been fighting the wrong battle, Ibrahim. Everything, from the military contracts to the foreign aid deals, they were all rigged. I controlled it all." Ibrahim's mind raced, his fists clenching tighter. The weight of betrayal crushed down on him. His best friend, the one person he thought he could trust, had been the architect of the very corruption he was trying to root out. His heart burned with a fury he'd never known before. The truth stung deeper than any wound. "I thought you were my friend, Samir," Ibrahim muttered, his voice breaking. "You betrayed everything we stood for." Samir's laugh echoed in the room, bitter and cold. "Friend? Ibrahim, you were always just a pawn. It was never about friendship. It was about power, climax, emotional breakthrough." The room seemed to close in on Ibrahim as the full extent of Samir's deceit unfolded before him. But in that moment, something shifted. Ibrahim's anger wasn't just a response. It was the spark he needed. "You don't get to define me, Samir," he said, his voice steady now. "I fought for something bigger than any scheme you could dream up. I fought for the people, and they will know the truth. Samir took a step back, his smug expression faltering. Ibrahim moved forward, his hands shaking with a righteous fury. This was no longer about their past, about the friendship they once had. This was about justice, about everything Ibrahim had sacrificed for the country he loved. With a single motion, he grabbed the folder and tore it in half. The papers fluttered to the floor like discarded lies. "You may have tried to destroy me, Samir," Ibrahim said, his voice now thunderous, "but you won't destroy the truth." In the quiet aftermath, Samir stood frozen, the reality of Ibrahim's words crashing over him. He had underestimated his old friend. Ibrahim had chosen the path of righteousness, and nothing could tear that from him. Resolution and quiet closure days passed, but Ibrahim's resolve only grew stronger. The news of Samir's schemes broke across the country, causing waves of outrage and disbelief. But with the exposure of his former best friend's lies, something beautiful began to take root in the hearts of the people. The truth had been revealed, and with it a new sense of unity was born. Ibrahim returned to his people, the weight of his personal betrayal lightened by the love and trust they placed in him. The sky over Ouagadougou was clear that day, the sun casting a warm glow over the city, as Ibrahim stood at the heart of his nation's struggle for justice. And as he walked away from the warehouse that had once been a symbol of his childhood, Ibrahim knew that he was not alone. His heart was full, not of vengeance, but of hope. Hope for a future where truth could still prevail, no matter the odds. Call to action for YouTube. If this story touched your heart, consider subscribing. For more inspiring tales of hope, healing, and unexpected kindness, hit the like button and share this with someone who needs it today.